I'm not doing it. Yeah,
we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back.
Tony on Tap came in and he killed our stream on accident. But he did want to make sure, if just in case you missed that you love Gavin Sheets, and if you don't, he's coming for you. That was his famous last words before the stream died. So, Steve, again, we had our fun. I'm back. I'm Buzz. If you're just tuning in right now, back on Sox on Tap with my guy, NWI Steve. The Outsliders are here. So, Steve, again, big loss tonight. You were talking about Giolito before Tony got in here, and how bad he has just been, how putrid he's been this year. And it's unfortunate because I like Giolito. Like, we took in multiple starts together of Giolito days together at the ballpark. And this is where we're at with him now. What that weight gain thing is something Jordan Miller brought up to me today. I didn't see that in Merkin's piece. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that or if you think it might be something different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't discount the possibility that is part of the equation here. I mean, I know coming into the season here, just seeing some of those images of him at Camelback Ranch during spring training, when he's standing next to Michael Kopech, who we all know Michael Kopech is a very well-conditioned athlete in the prime of his physical prowess at the moment here. And Giolito just, dwarfed him. And you had to kind of wonder what kind of impact that was going to have on him from a flexibility, from a pliability standpoint. And was that going to compromise, his mechanics in any way? And then first start of the year in Detroit, pulls the oblique muscle, misses some time with it. And it's just been kind of downhill ever since. He's had a couple of stretches where he's thrown the ball okay for 2-3 starts at a time, but the consistency has not been there. What we have seen from him in years past and what we came to expect from him heading into the season. And tonight was just another example of this. I mean, you go out there 5 1/3 innings against this Royals team. You give up, you give up five earned runs, 3 home runs, 2 of them to Nick Pratto. That's just not going to get it done. You got to go out there and you got to bump sleigh against a team like this. This is a Royals team that's 20 games below 500, as I was talking about earlier before we were so rudely interrupted. The Sox are 10-7 against this Royals team this year. That's just flat out unacceptable. And
right.
That's a big part of the reason why they're in the position that they are.
I don't see any change in it either. And the reason I say that is right before Tony did come in here, we actually did bring him up in his optimism. It's crazy. The guy must have like ESP.
He had the antennas on there for sure.
Yeah. He just had the antennas on or something. But man, when you look at the injuries that have just like ravished them and everything like that, and even just trying to get back into the swing of things, like when Luis Robert comes back for the 95th time this season, or when TA eventually comes back and them trying to get into the swing of things, dude, that's just not going to – I don't think there's enough time anymore. They're 3 games below 500. They're 7 out.
There isn't enough time at this juncture. I mean, there's 34 games left. Like I said, there's 7 back in the loss column here. The schedule and the calendar are not on their side at this point. Cleveland closes the year with 6 games against Kansas City, a team that they have no problem beating, unlike our White Sox. So it's just, it is what it is at this point, unfortunately. It's a lost season that is going to just leave a lot of people wondering in the offseason how to fix it. And there's not really a clean fix.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of reading material on how to fix it. And I say that because you're going to go down a rabbit hole of free agents, of potential trade ideas and stuff like that. There's not an easy fix button here. And speaking of tonight too, when we were talking about Giolito here, my God, if it's not the pitching that's failing, it's the hitting that's failing. And I should have probably said that the other way, because the pitching's been pretty decent. I wouldn't say it's been good all year, but I mean, it's been enough a lot of the time for the Sox offense just to do something and then we'd win. And then you have a night like tonight. I think, was it you who tweeted, of course, we lose the night we hit 3 home runs?
Yeah. The White Sox, they win games with, the singles factory, depriving, your local stripper of their singles that they are using to help fund their way through their college education. And they pick a night where they actually go and they hit 3 homers. They get out homered by the Kansas City fucking Royals and they lose at home. Because this is the 2022 Chicago White Sox. My God, how disheartening is this?
They string together 12 hits tonight. 12 hits tonight. Like there's fucking like 4 game spans where they don't do that at all. Total.
I know.
Total.
Yeah.
It's wild, man. I wish I could put my finger on it. There was really great conversation. So I gotta plug something real quick. I know I'm on the show again. Probably should be sticking the game, but that Ray's Juke joint. Have you ever talked to Ray? Ray's cool. Ray is cool as hell.
Ray's good.
So they were talking about some White Sox stuff and just how fucking funny it is. And Matt Crawford was in there.
The only problem is Justin is usually in there in the Juke joint, and
I love Justin.
Yeah. Fuck you, Justin, if you're listening.
He's all right. He's okay. but damn it, Steve. Maybe lose my train of thought. But Matt Crawford was in there, and he was just talking about how like their approach has changed offensively so much, even when you had some of the stars in there, right? Or when everybody was healthy, like how it's gone from 2020 leading the league again, 60-game season. I know you and I've talked about that too before, but leading the league, 27 home runs in fucking 7 days, and getting on base at a high percentage, not 15th in the MLB like they're sitting at now, and doing all these things, and it's still the same construction of people.
It's fascinating to hear an outsider and a longtime Baltimore Orioles fan like Matt Crawford, provide some objective analysis like that.
You guys are fucking marks.
I had to do it. But it is fascinating to your point. I mean, you look at that 60-game season and just what they did offensively, utilizing the long ball, and a lot of people. Look, I've not historically been a fire the hitting coach guy.
Yeah.
But, and part of the rationale that people have had for not blaming Frank Menachino entirely for this was because he was the guy that was the hitting coach during that 2020 season.
Well, yeah. And then last year they had a very high OBP too. So, I mean, he put together 2 years of decent quality work. That
the thing about it though, is if you look at some of the underlying data with some of the launch angle in particular here, there's been a decline each year that Frank Menachino has been here. And if you look at some of the individual players, Jose Abreu has the lowest launch angle of his career this season. So it's not a coincidence that he's got 14 home runs and is leading the league in singles. That's kind of an issue. So I think there definitely is an instructional issue that is happening with this team at the major league level. There is a swing plane issue, and it's just hard not to think that Frank Menachino is ultimately the culprit of that and the way that he is instructing the hitters at this point, because to see the precipitous decline that has taken place here, I don't know what else it really could be at this juncture.
I've heard a lot of people say it's like personality issues with some of the stars. Everybody wouldn't be hitting like that if that were the case. There's something that's obviously very wrong. I'm not sure. I can't put my finger on it. I'm not a fucking baseball doctor. Like, I don't really know what I'm looking at here. Because when I look back at 2020 and I look back at even in 2021, it's just completely different. I know that we were kind of going through the game a little bit, but it just sucks so bad. The only thing I want to talk about is Gavin Sheets and Eloy. They're the ones that hit the ball out of the ballpark tonight. I'm happy about that. Everything else, I mean, they strung together hits, but they ultimately fall up short. It's frustrating.
You had the fake rally in the fifth inning when you get it to 5-4, and you get the tying run and scoring position there, and then you don't come through, and then you immediately go out there and you give them the runs right back in the top half.
And it's absolutely insane. Like Tanner Banks comes in, he only gets 1 out.
It's funny. They're in a position where they're only down 1 run, and then they go to a bad reliever. I mean, are we sure Tony La Russa wasn't in the dugout tonight?
Oh man, yeah, we never talked about him. What happened? That shit's odd. I don't know what happened to him. I will say I hope he's all right. It's fucking baseball. I don't wish bad on anybody. I will say though, man, there are some ruthless people.
Yeah, so that was one thing. That's one thing that I did want to comment on a little bit here. So obviously seeing some of the commentary from people on I believe is it twatter.com?
It's Twatter, yes. It's Twatter. TWA. Yeah.
Okay. I think everybody that listens to this broadcast and reads my columns knows that I fucking hate Tony La Russa. I think he has.
I don't like him.
I think he has done a dog shit job this season.
And I think you and I were in the minority on
Yes.
this show when we were not excited about it.
He is not the sole culprit of the downfall of the 2022 White Sox. You've had a collection of underperformance from players that you were counting on heavily. You've had injuries. When you have those two things, you can't have them compounded by a fucking idiot in the dugout making poor strategic decisions because he still thinks he's managing in 1982. And that is what has happened this year. With all of that being said, to see people out there openly saying that they're hoping that he dies or, hoping that it's something serious from a health standpoint, that's just some lowbrow bullshit. Okay?
Oh, yeah, they really put
I don't want Tony La Russa managing the one sports team that I really truly care about. I can't wait till he is no longer in the dugout, but I don't want it like that.
Right.
So people have some perspective on this and try to realize that, maybe just don't be an asshole.
Oh, no, 100%. Yeah, be better. I mean, that's fucking. We don't really preach here on this show about much. We kind of stay to ourselves and just talk about sports and whatever. But yeah, some of the comments I saw tonight were really I don't know. You don't have to care if we respect you or if we like you, but if you're openly saying that you hope a baseball manager dies because you don't like calls that he makes in game or something like that, you're probably a piece of shit. So. I mean, I have no problem telling you that, whether I see it there or here or whatever. I think that's kind of the worst thing you could fucking say. I think it's really, really stupid. Life's very precious. So not really a good look for White Sox Twitter, putting that all over the fucking White Sox official team Twitter page. So, but yeah, it did look like he was managing tonight with Tanner Banks coming in. Kind of weird bullpen usage there. Lambert comes in. I mean, he gets out of that inning, I believe, because he got the last 2 outs of that.
Yeah, he did unfortunately kind of, allow Kansas City to extend that lead a little bit there, taking it to a 7-4 ball game. But I mean, we've just seen that from this team almost all season. They have the inning where they kind of claw back a little bit, make the game competitive, and then they immediately go and give runs back when the opposition comes to the plate. That's just been far, far too often something that has taken place this season. And it's a big part of the reason why they are where they are.
No, 100%, 100%. Hopefully it improves, man. It won't this year. It won't this year, but I'm talking about going into next year because I can't deal with how this is all going. Steve, you might actually have to finish this because I'm having a baby wake up right now. Very sorry about that. Damn
Life
it, Tony.
happens sometimes.
I blame. Do you hear it? Do you hear the baby?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's definitely crying. She has stopped crying.
All right.
So everybody's just gonna have to sit here.
I'll take us home, baby.
You take us home? All right. Well,
I'll take us home.
Yeah. I love you very much. I'm very sorry about that. It was great joining you, Tony. You son of a bitch for ruining our stuff. See you later, bud.
All right, buddy. I'll see you
Later.
See ya. All right. So yeah, Sox lose this game 9-7. Again, key takeaway from this evening here, Lucas Giolito, just another poor performance for the White Sox against a dog shit Kansas City Royals team. Sox were able to finally elevate the baseball, hit 3 home runs, but it was all for naught, unfortunately, as they were out-homered in this game by the Kansas City Royals once again. And that has been really one of the main themes of this season, this team's inability to win games at home and their inability to out-homer their opponents at the corner of 35th and Shields, something that I had never expected to see and experience in my lifetime. I've talked about this a lot. I'm old enough to remember the days when people said that the White Sox were too reliant and they hit too many home runs. Let me tell you, I would love to go back to those days when the White Sox were a homer-heavy offense, because in the year of our Lord, 2022, that's how you win baseball games. The White Sox are living a 1950s and 1960s wet dream with all of these singles from all these little slap hitters. And as a result of that, they're 4th in baseball in terms of team batting average, but they're 21st in terms of runs scored. You don't win with singles in 2022. you win with the long ball. Beer Garden Jim, you're out of line here. I might have to just completely throw you out of here with you and your dry meats. This small ball being more exciting to watch. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Have some self-respect. So that's going to kind of wrap it up here for talking about whatever this game was tonight. Sox drop the game, fall 3 games below 500. As I talked about, 6 games back of first place Cleveland. The Guardians and the Twins both were victorious tonight. However, the Sox are 7 back in the loss column. Going into tomorrow, the second game of the 3-game set, we'll have Lance Lynn on the mound against Chris Bubich for the Kansas City Royals. Lance threw the ball pretty well last time out against the Baltimore Orioles, was in a position to win a baseball game, and then obviously the Adam Engel play happened, causing the Sox to drop the 3rd game of the Baltimore series there in the rubber match, and ultimately has really kind of started a negative chain reaction that has been the death nail in the season of the 2022 White Sox. So hopefully Lance can go out there tomorrow, establish fastball command, work ahead of the Kansas City Royals hitters early and often. We've seen him start to sprinkle in the curveball from a pitch mix utilization standpoint a little more frequently here in the last 6 weeks or so than we have at any point during his White Sox tenure. So it'll be fascinating to see if that is something that does continue. And it would also behoove this team, again, to see them utilizing the long ball here and hitting the ball out of the ballpark, hopefully. And if they can prevent the Kansas City Royals from doing that, who knows? They may actually do the unthinkable and win a baseball game. I think probably one of the bigger storylines heading into tomorrow's game will be the health update on manager Tony La Russa and whether or not we will see him in the dugout tomorrow, or if it is at a point later on this weekend, perhaps maybe when the Minnesota Twins come to town. So we should get an update at some point before tomorrow's action and have an update on TLR going forward here. That's going to wrap it up for us here tonight at Sox on Tap. Sox fall to the Royals 9-7. Be sure to go to ontapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs, as our boy Buzz would like to say here. Another tough one tonight. It's been a very rough stretch. Dropped 5 in a row. Get back out there tomorrow. Find a way to win a game. White Sox for life.